the world. And they pointed out that even the UK is doing it. Have you seen anything?
I haven't seen anything yet, Ronnie, but whatever you do, we always have a go at. It sometimes takes a while to get over here, but
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times we'll have a go at it.
Yeah.
I think it's taken about 30 years, and now we're starting to celebrate on Halloween.
Good. Hey, I want to see the Queen dressed up now.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
The only point was the cops are afraid of ending up in the paper under a police brutality headline. Yes, sir. So instead.
There we go.
That was the best thing to do there.
Yep, now we got to press the space bar to go so we don't have to listen to the news.
Yeah, perfect.
Hello there, Edward.
Hi, Ronnie. How you doing?
All right, I don't see you, but I hear you.
Oh,
He's hiding behind his doors.
how about
There you are. Oh, you're in the shop.
Yeah, I'm in it. Where else?
My shop is 17 Fahrenheit right now. I ain't going in there tonight.
Mine's not quite that cold. I'm at 68 degrees, 82% humidity.
Oklahoma City is 20 degrees.
Western PA is about 15.
Why don't you guys take it back up there to you?
Now we like sharing this
we're not
with
sending
you.
it all down to you.
Yeah, we got about 80
Just
over
look
here
at
today.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm at 23 right now.
I need to check that.
I'm at
If
23.
we're comparing,
There.
I'm at 18 and my wind chill's 8.
Hey guys,
About the light.
yeah, I'm driving, so
Okay.
be home about a half hour. Had to go to my hunting club meeting.
Is that a drinking club that does some hunting, or is it a hunting club that does some drinking?
Uh-oh, he had a drink in his hand. He couldn't answer.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hopefully not in
Ronnie.
the car.
Ronnie, put your mic on.
I hear you now.
Yeah, you've just reminded me because we must be about 4 weeks on, and I haven't had anybody knock on my door with one of them Mardi Gras cakes that you were talking about. I thought you'd have been sending them over the water for me.
No, they won't knock on your door. People's houses, they decorate their houses for Mardi Gras.
Oh,
People all over the world are doing this, and neighbors are coming out and they're looking at them and they're saying, "What in the world are you doing? What is that?" And then they got to stop and explain it to them. It's Mardi Gras.
right.
So how do you decorate a house for Mardi Gras, Ronnie?
We'll try and get them onto it. We'll try and get them onto it, Ronnie. But I'm talking about them cakes or that bread that you were doing about 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, Ronnie, I was wondering where mine was too. Get him.
I'm still waiting for mine.
The king cakes?
That's the one. You know what we're talking about, Ronnie, and the postman has not been knocking.
Okay. Well, anybody in the U.S., Martin, you'll have to come over to the U.S. Anybody in the U.S., you can order a king cake, and it'll be shipped right to your house, made and shipped directly to you.
Yeah,
And
but the price of coming to America might not be worth that king cake, Ronnie.
No. Ronnie tells me they're good king cakes, so it may well be worth the price.
yeah, you come in and party and eat food like you've never eaten before, Marty.
But the problem is at the minute, Ronnie, if I come over there, I'm not allowed back home.
Oh.
We can get out, we're just not allowed in.
That might be my case too, Martin.
Yeah.
They say this year we're not having Mardi Gras as far as parades and all. But I tell you what, you're not going to stop these people. They're going to find a way to party one way or the other.
Yes, they are.
So how do you decorate? What does a house decoration for Mardi Gras look like?
Well, what they do is, if you can imagine a carnival float, do you know what a carnival float is?
Yeah.
Okay, so they taken taking stuff like that, they having professionals build this stuff, and they putting it on the house and around the front yard and everything else. So it you know, it looks like your house could be a carnival float.
I see, interesting.
So,
Hey, Dave, I wanted to thank you for splitting out the videos from the weekly meetings. That's pretty cool. I can share like pieces of things like the demos that I did and stuff separately. That's a neat thing. Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm going to try to do more of that.
yeah, Dave, when I seen that, I thought the same thing, because I wanted to go back and look at Matt's Celtic knots and get the idea again, the way he broke it down.
Yeah, it's all in the grid work.
And it does
man.
make it easier when you don't have to go through the entire video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can edit out the parts where they only show Matt. Hey, well, if it pops up on me, that's a pattern,
There it is.
and this came from Blick. No, is it? Yeah. Working in a circle. Celtic Knots 101. And it's got all about the layouts and the using the
dots, the grid work.
You be able to get it laid out and all. I've got one ready to go, ready to lay out probably tomorrow morning. It's supposed to get notorious on Friday. I mean, almost in the 40s. So I'll probably be out here Friday with the heat on.
Yeah, my
And
friends
you're
in
gonna
Austin,
have them
Texas.
throwing tomatoes at you.
Heat wave.
Heat wave.
And my friends in Austin are saying they're supposed to get freezing rain.
Well, the people on TV are very careful about using that frozen rain or SNOW word. That's like no land. But the weather check today said we're going to get so close you're going to wonder. So I don't wonder. I know. I'm staying in the shop.
But you gotta take into it that we hardly, when I say hardly ever get snow or anything, it's maybe every 20 years, and it's maybe 2 or 3 inches. That when that happens, the whole city just shuts down. You can't move.
Yeah.
You know, it took me one time that I would normally drive to work in 15, 20 minutes. It took me like 3 hours to get home that evening because the roads were iced over. So this is not the place to have snow.
And everybody goes home and gets their cars and they ride around and look at it.
Then they have a wreck.
Hello, Mr. Doug Miller.
I do. Y'all talking about snow and stuff. We got snow and ice here all day today. We're not supposed to get above, I think, 24 tomorrow.
Nice. I haven't been above 20 all week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah. You guys got it really cold up there.
Yeah, at least I'm not out in the hinterlands where the winds are like Doug is.
So Ron Ratliff, I hope that bird don't like skin, because you're in trouble.
The glares would have attracted it. I had to fill out a thing at the physical therapist this morning, and a guy said, "Do you have any difficulty combing your hair?" No, so I can comb it.
You told him you put it on the wig stand and comb it?
Man, it's all
cold.
on iPads to answer all these questions. And I told the guy, so, there's nothing here that says my left leg hurts. That's, you got to modify this thing.
Hello there, Mr. John.
Hey there, Ronnie. How are you tonight?
I seen you said you ordered your CA, huh?
Yes, I did.
Did you get it yet?
Oh yeah. It came in about 2 days. I can't believe that.
Okay. That guy took care of you, huh?
He did. Yeah. I had quite a chat with him.
Yeah, he's
Probably 40
wealth of knowledge.
I talked to him probably about 40 minutes. He did most of the talking, but that was all right. No, he was pretty nice guy. He got me all fixed up.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I couldn't believe when I got it in the mail in about 2 days.
He came to my house one time and he did a demo here for a few friends. And shoot, he got here about 9 o'clock in the morning. About 3 or 4 that evening, I had to tell him, I said, look, I says, I'm worn out. I said, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to sit down and take it easy. So he laughed and he kept on going. You know, anybody, he would be there, I think, till midnight until he wore the people out, you know.
Oh, get away from me.
Hello?
Last week, remember I asked a question about anybody knew where you could get the square blocks for the bottom of a tailstock on a mini lathe, and they didn't think they made them anymore, and I don't think because I couldn't find them, but here I made my own.
Huh? You got us a sample? Oh.
Yeah, I'm holding it up there in front of the camera right now.
Would you
Now,
make it?
what do you do with that?
I made it out of oak. There was some oak in the wood shop here, and I measured and cut the slots in it on the bandsaw, or not the bandsaw, but the table saw, and drilled a hole in it. And it's amazing the little bit of effort it takes to lock it now. And as I sat down at the lathe, you see I have to reach up kind of across it and to release the handle on the tailstock. And I can do it with about half the pressure now. And the tailstock doesn't creep. I put a washer on the bottom of it. There was a metal washer here. You see right here it is.
I'm not following you. What does that do?
It's the lock for the, like down underneath on the tailstock. And you see here, when you push the lever on the tailstock to lock it, here's what was on it before.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So you put a square one on it and you get about 5 times the amount of surface area for locking it. That's what.
Oh, okay. I'm following you now. Okay.
It fits between your ways, John?
Pardon me, I didn't hear that.
It fits between the ways, between
Yes.
the bed? Okay.
Yes.
You also pick up the extra of wood to metal rather than metal to metal, so it will help you with that friction.
Well, yeah, it gives you a different kind of a friction lock there. But those square ones are standard on a one-way lathe. And I was using a Robust, a brand new Robust at Aramont a number of years ago. And the tailstock, you just couldn't lock it down. And they just gotten it. And the fellow that run the shop down there at Aramont asked me how I liked it. And I told him, I said, it's a fine lathe, but I said, you can't lock the tailstock. And he said, what do you mean? And I showed him how you could push all you wanted on the handle and crank in on it against a piece of wood and it wouldn't lock it. Well, he said, what do we do about it? I said, you get a square one, call the fellow that makes it and tell him to make a square one for it. He said, the round ones aren't very good because there's not enough of friction on a round circle for to lock them. And he did. And I think they got it while I was there. He was very quick at sending one and put it on, and no one could believe the difference in it.
Mr. John, later on, when it comes to showing things, would you bring that back up and explain it again to the people once everybody gets in house?
Yeah, yes, I'll do
that. That's a good idea, you know, and that's the thing. Everybody has these little tips, tricks, or hints, and you'd be surprised your knowledge that you can share with everybody.
Well, yeah, everybody finds out a little bit different.
Yeah.
I love everybody's demos because I learned so much about how, all sorts of little tips and tricks, just like what John just showed.
Yeah.
One of these things, we really, when we created this program, it was to share information. But every single week I go away with a half a page of notes. You're some pretty smart people out there, because I see you do something that you may think is simple, But I'm thinking, why didn't I think about that? So it's why we're here, and I enjoy the heck out of it.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
we
like
all,
what,
we all look at things in a different way from a different perspective. Some of us have engineering minds, some of us think about things differently. And, you know, every one of us is innovating to make our jobs easier. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
well, it's like what Matt did last week with that Celtic knot when he started putting all those dots all over, and I was watching him close, and at first it didn't make sense, and all of a sudden, boom, you know, it appeared to what he was doing, and he made it look so simple that, you know, you wouldn't think if you didn't know the trick, you know?
Right.
Ronnie,
Yes.
this is Andy Phillips. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we were discussing things that making the weed pots that the people couldn't drill deep enough, and
Yep.
the extension would. Well, I don't know if you can see what I have. I went to Home Depot and bought one of these long. It's like 14 inches long, and this has happened to be 5/8 because my wife bought me on Amazon a whole bunch of the tubes, exactly 5/8. And what I end up doing was grinding off because it has an auger end on it, and
Right.
that does not work good because it'll suck the Jacob's chuck right out. So I just ground off the and left a point. Works tremendous. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to go that long, that deep, but they comes in all different sizes: 5/8, 9/16, 3/4, the whole thing.
Andy, I have one, and I'm sure a whole bunch of people have that same. I'm calling it like a spade bit.
It is, but it has an auger point or auger, you know,
Right.
the threads on the end.
The question to you is when you're drilling, I find those bits will suck off to the side, and it's very easy to drill through the side of something.
Well,
Taking that auger off, does that stop that from happening?
okay, what I did was I drilled the hole first and then put a cone tip on the end and then turned my little weed pot. So it sort of forced it to be in the center. And I had no, this followed just perfectly straight. It went in perfectly straight.
Tell me again how you did it.
Okay, I drilled the 5/8 hole first in my blank before I turned it.
Right.
And so then, but it went in just super straight. It didn't suck itself in. I just fed it in like a normal drill bit. And I had no problem. It went, and the little tube that my wife bought fit in just perfect. I mean, it had didn't have to sand anything. But they're actually, what they're made for is electricians to go through studs.
Right.
Things like that. And I gave it a try, and it worked great.
Good. Thank you, Andy.
Really, that side reading can also be dependent on how much pressure you put on it. Some people believe it is, and cutting crank down on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the way to go about it.
But you do have to back it out pretty often, because if you don't, the shavings are going to fill up behind it, and then it's hard to get out. So about every ½ inch or inch, you need to pull it back out, clear the shavings, then go back in.
And you got to consider that when the shavings are in there and you load and you get down, what is happening with the heat?
Yes.
I've got a lot of beefs about people that, including U-turners, I mean, it's not picking on you, that really believe you got to take a force and a bit to start a hollowing piece. I'm okay with that. Just how sharp is that bit? If it's not real sharp, the heat you generate is going to go outward. And if you think a piece cracks without the heat, wait till you put the heat.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, and there's things you
those
can do.
tubes you were using, are they glass or are they plastic?
The one she got is plastic. It's a hard polycarbonate.
And where did you get them?
Amazon. Got 30 of them for, I don't know, $8 or something like that, or even less than that. They came out to about 15 cents a piece. So
Good. Good, good.
To me, they were free. She bought them for me.
Hey, Ronnie, make a deal. Send him a king cake and he'll send you some of those tubes.
I have a question. How do you mount that drill bit on the tailstock?
Jacob's chuck. It's got a hex end on it, but I just put it in my Jacob's chuck, and I mean, I don't know how it would work on a mini lathe. I have a full size. I have an American Beauty, and so I got plenty of.
Yeah, that was my question. My tailstock doesn't move far enough out to let me mount that thing.
Well, then, you know, if you needed 6 inches long, 6 inches deep, cut it off to 10, and that should fit on a mini lathe then with the Jacob's chuck.
Okay.
Just a thought.
That's what he's talking about right there when he's talking about a Jacob's chuck.
Yes, sir.
So it's just like what goes in your drill press, right?
Right.
Just go tail stock.
Yes.
And you put whatever bit in there you need.
But if you need to drill deeper, then the Jacob's chuck will not go in the hole you're drilling for the tube.
Oh, you're saying queen center close to fit this in there?
No.
Well, I'm talking about on the weed pots. You know, you only need like 3 or 5/8 or 3/4 inch hole, and so if you've got a 5/8 bit, most of them are not only but about 3 or 4 inches long, and you want to go 6 inches deep. How do you follow that? And you can put an extension, but the extensions usually are larger than the drill bit, and that's why I was showing this auger bit.
Okay, so
all right, I've got a bit of an answer what I did, but you might not like it. I put a pair of vice grips on the end of it and pushed it in by hand.
Oh, you could, yeah.
So this is
a long drill bit,
but I'd actually found it at a garage sale, so I don't even know what store was selling them. That's just a long drill bit on a handle, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's Mike Peace that I've seen on YouTube, where he'd made a deal where he just made handles for his bits.
Yeah.
So it higher
little
or length on it, and run it.
Yeah.
If that helps you.
Now, does your bit there have a point on the end, or does it have a spiral screw like things?
We lost you there.
We're not getting your voice.
You're muted, Doug.
Okay, I see that you have. Yeah, does that not tend to draw it in?
No, because I mean I'm turning at a slow enough speed to where I can control it.
Okay, all right.
But wait, here's the important part. How are you doing it by your hand?
Right. Yeah, he was talking about a 5/8.
That's Harbor Freight.
Yeah. You've also got these from Harbor Freight. I don't know if you can see them. The big long ones.
Yes. Yeah.
Come in a set.
Yeah, I bought some at Harbor Freight like that. Yeah,
Well,
they come in a set.
What's
Yeah, I
what's
have
the
some of
largest
those too.
size?
You can also
These
buy
are
you can
half
also
inch.
buy extensions if you want to go deep. You know,
Yeah,
drill bit extensions. Those, yeah, like that exactly.
Forstner bit extension there. So.
Right.
Yeah, I got some Brad Point ones I bought that were 12 inches long, and I kind of cut them down to about 6.5, 7 inches to use. But it goes all the way up to a 1/2 inch. You can pick up on Amazon for about $20. A set of 7, 1/8 all the way to a 1/2 inch, 12 inches long.
I do, and I got my welding machine and welded mine to a bar where I thought it was there, and then I hammered it till it was straight, and
Front end there. That's what it was.
worked out pretty good. I've got probably 6 or 8 different sizes done like this.
And then if you want to spend a whole bunch of money or ask for Christmas presents like I did, the Carter hollowing system, that thing's awesome. So I do have one of those too.
I have a question right quick. I know it might be kind of a rookie question, but as far as the Jacob chuck goes, what's the purpose? I mean, what's the reason for a Jacob's chuck versus a drill chuck?
they're the same thing.
They're pretty
They're the
much,
same thing, ain't they?
Jay, they're pretty much the same thing. I'm going to jump in there, Eddie, because there's a couple of points, and I know our safety officer isn't around. So I just want to I want to pick up on one of the points.
I am listening.
I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Oh, Jeffrey's just arrived, our safety officer. Just on one of them points, somebody mentioned about holding a drill bit with a set of mole grips or Stilsons or whatever you guys call them over there, and trying to feed your drill bit in from one end. I wouldn't advise that at all. I made a very, very simple device here, which is just it's basically a chuck and a handle on a chuck, and that does exactly the same thing. It allows me to drive the drill into the end. Putting Jacob's chucks in your tailstocks, if you're drilling a piece of material that is held in your headstock, you don't want to be drilling it at 1,000 revs per minute. It wants to be around about 300 or 400, no more than 600. Keep your speed down when you're drilling. Make sure you keep clearing your drill bit. The other concern is when you're putting the Jacob's chuck into your tailstock, if you're building up the heat and the sawdust behind it, and then you go to pull your tailstock out, what sometimes happens is the Morse taper releases from your tailstock, allowing your Jacob's chuck to start spinning. If that spins and starts to come back away, it's going to come out at you. So be very careful and make sure that you keep hold of the Jacob's chuck when you're removing it back out. Don't be pulling at your tailstock and allowing that Morse taper to come away.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, if I want to drill something, don't use my Jacob's chuck. Use the drill chuck because I can get it tighter. Yes.
Well, the difference is by using the Jacob's chuck on the lathe, you are more likely to get it straight and square. Once you've got your piece of wood in your jaws of your chuck and your Jacob's chuck at the other end, to drill slowly into it, unlike your drill press, you're going to get it. As long as you have a feed hole first, you will be more square and the hole will be drilled a lot straighter.
Okay.
I'm not following what he's getting at there between a Jacob's chuck and a drill chuck. I think it's both the same. Jacob's chuck's just a manufacturer's name. There's other ones.
It's like saying Coca-Cola. You know, people say Coke when they want a Coke. You know, they say Coca-Cola or Coke. It's a Jacob's chuck is just what we use expression.
Drill chuck.
Yeah.
But I think what he's trying to get at is why wouldn't he put it on a drill press rather than put it in the lathe?
Yeah, that's how I thought he was.
That's what I'm getting.
No, I wasn't asking that. I was just, one you tighten with your hand and another you use a cotter key. I was just wondering what the difference was between the two of them, why you would use one versus the other.
Nothing.
There's no difference in them. One's just a different means of tightening it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just a different application.
That's it. I've got drill chucks for my drill press that are keyless. That's the term.
Yeah, it's a keyless chuck.
But I get more holding strength out of when I use my Jacobs. If I'm doing anything, but I don't like drilling in grain on my drill press for the heat reason, because I'm like the rest of y'all, more power, and you don't realize how much that more power does. It's never a good thing.
I keep a stick of beeswax in that little box on the top of my lathe. Whenever I use a Jacob's chuck or a drill, I put the beeswax on it, and it helps with the heat and helps things move through more smoothly.
And it lets it clear a little bit easier, because if it comes up, you got to take a pick to it. No, it's your bit's dirty or what?
Little rust on it will make it that's a shaving's not clear off of it, right?
Yeah, it's where that air compressor and a little nozzle comes in handy.
Yeah.
Although our safety directors say don't use that air, just like, but watch your eyes.
So with drilling using the longer bits, I'd learned the hard way to keep backing it out and clearing it, and I got one stuck in there. And even with this big, powerful lathe, reverse. I couldn't get it out. I'd gotten it so buried in there. So I wound up having to take the piece off the lathe, laid it on my lathe with the drill bit down between the ways, and then had to take a hand drill it from the other end. It was insane to get it out. So when these guys are saying make sure you back it out and clean it routinely, yes, learn from my mistakes. It's really difficult once it gets stuck in there.
Yeah, I had a demo at my club, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, and the guy was demonstrating some hollowing, and he was using a Forstner bit, and he was a little nervous, and he didn't clear his shavings, and his Forstner bit got stuck. He went to back it out. It didn't back out. It pulled it out of the tailstock, just like you were talking about, Martin. And then he grabbed it while the lathe was turning and cut himself. So it was like, he just wasn't thinking. And this is a guy who knows better. It was like,
yeah.
I
had that happen to a buddy of mine too. It came out of the lathe, came around, smacked him on the wrist. It broke his wrist so bad he needed reconstructive surgery.
It's very easy.
If it starts coming out.
You have to hold on to it when you back out that quill every time.
Yeah, and if it's not coming out, you stop things immediately.
Oh yeah.
What saves me sometimes, I just take my air hose when I'm drilling a piece out. I just take my air hose and blow it out. That saves me some time, unless it gets too clogged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with Eddie. I tend to mousse it. It gets clogged really quick. It gets packed in there.
I did a demo at a club in Tennessee, and I was like the third in line for a long day. And one guy drilled something for a pepper mill, and he backed it out. It was a Forstner bit, 1.25 inches. He took it out the thing, and he tossed it over into the waste can. That emptied the place.
Fire. It gets piping hot.
The fire department emptied the place because they didn't believe what happened, and it was in a school cafeteria or whatever. Yeah, it did not go well. I never did get to demonstrate that day.
So he threw the Forstner bit in the waste can?
He there was no place to drop it because there was no place to drop it. So he turned and dropped it right into the waste can. And the dry shavings in the heat of that Forstner bit, up it went.
Oh,
it was probably like a hot potato. He couldn't hold on to it for long.
Yeah. And a guy grabbed the fire extinguisher. Somebody said, "Don't do that. We got to replace it." I don't know who was driving a bus, but it was off the road.
Oh, shoot.
Well, we got a lot of folks joining us here this evening.
I see we got Miss Brenda with us tonight.
Let's see the Band-Aids, Brenda.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
No Band-Aids. But I did have a piece break on me. Goodness, I was wearing my shield because when it broke in half, one half of it came up and hit my shield.
Whoa.
It wasn't
all right?
a big piece, but.
Why did it break?
What's that?
Why did it break?
I think it was a crack in the wood. Yeah. I glued it back together. I might try it again tomorrow.
That's the way to do it. If at first you don't succeed, turn it again.
There you go. Yeah.
Does that work if your lathe breaks?
Brenda, did you just got a turn?
Do what?
Last week you were saying something about you had a friend that was interested in turning, and she was going to come over, and you were going to introduce her to turning.
Oh, that was a couple weeks ago. I went to her house, and she got a new lathe, and I sent her a message just now and told her that you guys was wanting new people to show their first items, and she made a little bowl last week and sent me a picture. It looked real nice.
Tell her to come on board.
I'm trying to.
We've got a demo by Ronnie. Johnny Hughes is going to do a demo for us tonight, and it's going to be about doing a pepper mill, which is I've seen him do them before. He's very good at it, and it's an excellent technique program. But also this evening we're going to do gallery, and we can do it before then or after that. which is where we want to see new turners, new members. Show us what's the goal here, Ronnie? Just
People
where
who haven't contributed before.
Well, what we'd like to do is break the ice and get people that are sitting back and not coming forth saying anything. And what we're trying to do is break the ice, get everybody talking, like all of these people that talk every week. But what we'd like to know where you're from, what kind of lathe you have, and what are you interested in turning. Along with that, you might just say the least little thing that'll be a hint, a tip, or a trick that the most experienced person on tonight is going to walk away and saying, hey, that's a good idea. And you'd be surprised what all the hints, tips, and tricks that everybody has, and you take it for granted like everybody knows. And if you, at the end of one of these meetings, if you turn off the computer and you think about a hint, a tip, or a trick, you've walked away with something, and that's what we're trying to do. So
that was why this thing was this operation was formed. That's why we succeed. And I tell you what, I never see enough. I never get to talk. I got to pull the plug at 9 o'clock. That's the rule. But we get all kinds of people to participate. And what Ronnie said is fair. I had a guy call me the other day and said, how do we get into your clique? Clique? Yeah, you joke with Brenda about Band-Aids and Doug about the Army and Matt about how cold it is and Andy about this and that. There is no clique. Jump on board, press this bar, talk to us.
Gotta ask Cade how the ice fishing went this week.
It went well. It was much warmer than last time. And last time I didn't catch anything. But this time we caught a whole lot of perch, and I caught a 28-inch pike.
Wow.
So that was fun. That was a good fight. We were
No
out
good
there all
reason to
day.
go on the ice. None. No good reason to go on the ice.
The ice
Usually
was
when we
14
go ice
inches
fishing, the
deep.
only thing I catch is a buzz.
28-inch pike.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good reason to me.
Yeah.
I love to fish, but I ain't sitting on an ice cube.
That's why they make heated huts.
That whole being on the ice and you're the first one to poke a hole in it and that pressure comes out. No.
Gotta make sure it's thick enough. This stuff was like 14 inches thick. People were driving their half-ton trucks out there. I'm like, that's crazy. You go through the ice, you're trapped in a time capsule and frozen.
That's like jumping out of a perfectly good airplane just because you want to have fun.
Yeah. The adrenaline rush.
How is this related to turning? You can turn bobbers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or fishing poles.
Fishing lures.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Dane is not going to be on tonight. He's still got some issues going on with his hand. So I'll jump in and take care of gallery tonight. And then for the individual that was asking about how you get involved in the cliques, Eddie and nobody really talked to me until I dressed up like Kim Tippin. So I'm just saying, if you dress up like her, it'll probably
No.
Oh, one Kim is enough.
Yeah, ask my husband.
No,
One is
listen
enough.
to Doug.
Doug, you don't have the eyes to do it either. Don't worry about it. But
don't have enough blonde hair either.
Oh, well.
Hey, Miss Kim, I'm waiting anxiously for that latest video to come out.
I just finished buttoning it up as we were logging on to the
That
meeting,
is so beautiful so far.
I have it here. I'll show it. I'll show it off to everybody when it's my turn. But yeah, it was a labor of love. It kicked my butt and then some, but I gave it back to it. So, you know, it's done, and praise the Lord for that. I'm just happy. It's done.
I already seen.
Eddie.
Yes, sir.
Click on Billy Dillon from Homer.
All right, I got Billy. Billy, let's see if we get Billy. There's Billy.
What
Hey, you can see the baby, huh?
What I was going to tell everybody, that is the Mardi Gras colors, purple, green, and gold. And what you're seeing behind Billy is a king cake. And years ago, they used to take this little baby and stick it on the inside of the cake. And when you gave a party, you'd cut up the cake, everybody would get a slice, and whoever got the baby, well, they gave the king cake party for the following week. So that, what everybody's wondering about a king cake, this is a king cake right here. So everybody in Louisiana knows what purple, green, and gold represents, and that's Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is the leading up to the beginning of Lent. Lent is the leading up to Easter. So, and this goes way, way back. And believe it or not, the Easter and all revolves. It's not on a certain date every year. And they tell me, I read up a little bit about it, and they said it's something to do about when the you got to have 3 full moons, and then they start counting the amount of days before Lent starts, and that leads into Easter. So that's what Mardi Gras is all about. Mardi Gras is you come out, you party hard, and you let your hair down, and then the very next day is the beginning of Lent, and then everything, you either give up something for Lent, whether it's drinking or whatever you might choose to give up to the leading of Easter. So this is what Mardi Gras is all about right here. So thank you, Billy, for having that.
Yeah, Fat Tuesday is the day before Ash Wednesday. It's the way it works out.
Right. Fat Tuesday is Mardi Gras Day, and the next day is Ash Wednesday.
And that's when Lent starts.
Yeah, and that's everybody goes and gets ashes, and that's the beginning of Lent.
And that's 40 days before Easter, not counting Sundays.
Correct. Correct.
Here, Fat Tuesday is Punchki Day.
What is what day?
Punchki Day.
And what is Punchki?
Punchki is spelled P-A-N-C-Z-I. It's a Polish pastry, stuffed pastry.
So is it kind of like a king cake?
I don't know. I've never had a king cake. Punchki is like a really big donut, glazed donut, stuffed with frosting and jellies and stuff like that.
Okay,
well, I haven't lived until I had a Punchki.
Yeah, you can get all your cholesterol in one day for the whole year by eating a single Punchki.
A king cake is about 25 to 30 times that size.
Sounds wonderful.
Ronnie, if that's Mardi Gras Day over there, I think that is Pancake Day over here. That's Shrove Tuesday, isn't it? The day before.
It is.
That's Shrove Tuesday. It's Pancake Day. We can't have 2 days. We need to move Mardi Gras.
It's all the same celebration.
You have to move Mardi Gras. If we're going to borrow it, we can't have Mardi Gras and Shrove Tuesday, can we?
Okay, we got a war started again now.
Put syrup on your king cakes and call it a multicultural event.
We'll have pancakes and king cakes. It'll work.
Little did we know we celebrating on the same day.
Yeah.
Here's a better thing.
Maybe the time
that people avoid that's watching this COVID, all the politicians not all of them, but enough of them, came up with this idea that they'll do a Mardi Gras in May or June. It ain't the same.
No.
I'm I'm very happy it's not going to happen.
Eddie, why don't you highlight Bill Golf? I think he was getting ready to say something.
Oh, hey, Bill.
I said the time zone might make a difference. You could have them 2 of them in the different countries.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm thinking with COVID, every that Tuesday for me now, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
That means I would have to stay up all night on a Tuesday night and a Wednesday night.
Yes, you would.
Well, believe it or not, the hot spot in New Orleans, as you all know, is Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street's known worldwide. Bourbon Street will be elbow to elbow the whole entire day and night. Come midnight, Mardi Gras night, the beginning of Ash Wednesday, they'll line up about 20 horses, the police, and they'll put it in a shape of like an arrowhead. And at midnight, they on the bullhorns and they announce that Mardi Gras is officially over with, clear the streets. And at that point, they come down the street with those horses in a wedge and they clear the street. You either get off the street and go back in the bar, or you going somewhere, but you ain't gonna stand in front of them horses. And that's how they end Mardi Gras every year. Now you can go back in the bar and continue drinking and don't come out till sunrise and everything's okay, but they will clear the streets when they're ready. And right behind these horses, they come through with the street cleaners washing everything down, and they sucking it up. And in a matter of a couple of hours, you'd never know that anything was done there. And they measure how financially how good Mardi Gras was by the tons of trash that they pick up every year. If they pick up 200 tons, well, it's a good Mardi Gras or whatever the number is. I don't know what those numbers are, but that's how they measure Mardi Gras, the tons of garbage that they pick up off the street. Because in New Orleans, nobody finds a trash can. Everything's thrown on the street, and it gets swept down the street at one point. So that's a little bit about Mardi Gras.
All right. So I checked in with Johnny and seeing if he's ready for the top of the hour. We'll do that with Johnny Hughes in a few minutes on that pepper mill we're going to turn. Got on our chat tonight, there are a couple of links put, I believe, by Dave, our webmaster, about what to do with freedom pens. What do you do with freedom pens? Turn them. That's what you do to freedom pens. You turn them, and then you send them to Doug Rowe, and he will get them to our troops, which is just a thank you and a little something from home that you can do. And we still collect them. We will, as long as there's people out there fighting for my freedom and your freedom, I'll be collecting freedom pens and helping them out. That's what we do here. And we really like to get you involved. I was with a club that we did 10,000 pens in 3 or 4 years. I don't have all the facts, but that was one club with Sarge Kelly behind the reins. We did that. We've been having a little fun the last couple of weeks with challenges. And Doug just put up the thing about how to donate pens. He put his address and all up. But we've been talking about challenges. And our challenge recently has been 2x4s, and we had a pretty good time of it. But because we do so much, and somebody said, how do you get in a click? This is how you get in a click. It's simple. Participate, show and gallery, offer or do demonstrations, come up with ideas, research things we talk about. All that gets you into the click. Well, this week, our wood turner of the week is right here. That's our wood turner of the week, Miss Kim Tippen. And I think this went up on the screen the right way. Did it, Ronnie?
Not yet.
Uh-oh, I got to take me off the spotlight. Go back down here and do.
You had Kimberly just now.
Yeah, you need the other Kim.
Let's see. There we go.
There she is.
There she is.
All right.
I lost her.
I got to go back and spotlight my name. That is our wood turner of the week.
What?
Congratulations.
Who did that?
Nice choice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
choice, everybody.
Kim.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Very
Kim.
good. Nice.
Congratulations, Kim.
Oh, that's very nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kim, we thanking you for participation, for your gallery entries, for your advice on pieces. You're going to show us an awesome piece in a little while that you turned. That is what gets you in the click, and there's room for everybody in that click. In fact, I think I have 8 nominations right now of members that would, from you to members of other members that we think should be the return of the week. If you want to be in it, you can be in it. It's easy. Participate, show, get involved. It's all about that. Congratulations, Kim. I think it was a wonderful thing that and I wasn't the only one that picked you. I really think it was Doug.
Oh, probably. Yeah, his Halloween costume kind of, you know.
You got so many nice compliments about it, you know, and I'm not supposed to mention this, but he tried to top it over with a little push-up bra thing he had going, but I don't know if that worked out. Okay,
Oh boy.
I'm looking for Johnny Hughes. Is he with us yet? Johnny?
Johnny's in my shop. I got him here.
Yeah, I'm in Trace's shop, so it'll be on Trace's.
Trey, I think I have you ready to go, Trey. All you have to do is say, look, there he is, right there. I'm going to go back over here and pop in on this. This is our spotlight. This is Johnny. Wait, I got Johnny up twice.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Tell him I'm gonna sign off.
Okay, yo.
He's got to sign off on his tablet.
Okay.
Unmute.
All right, I think we got you back, Trey.
Okay. We got Johnny here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to do a sentence? Go ahead, talk to me.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got you, Johnny. We're seeing what's on that screen in front of you is what we see right now.
Okay, I can't hear them, but.
Okay, I'll turn this up. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready whenever y'all are.
We done. Go.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do the pepper mill, and basically just like this blank here, you want to start with something that's 2 3/4 to 3/4 inches square, and you want to make it about an inch longer than the pepper mill you're going to make, because you're going to need to turn some tenons. And speaking of those tenons, they're depending on the length of your drill bit, and if you're going to drill it all at one time or not. When you start turning this, you're going to need to make a tenon on each end. And if you're going to drill it from both ends because you don't have a long enough drill bit, then you're going to need a third tenon there. When you'll see when we get to cutting the body in there how the tenons come through. But I have a long drill bit, so I'm not going to make these extra tenons here. Okay, so just bear with me a minute here, and we'll see. This is basically what we're going to do here. We're going to turn it down to the length we want. We're going to cut 2 pieces and drill 3 different size
90
holes.
degrees.
90 degrees.
Yeah.
Like so.
No, the other 180 now.
180 degrees. How's that?
Turn
Everybody see that?
it another 90, so the writing will be straight.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn it around the diameter we want. We're going to drill 3 different size holes through here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that started. The first things first is turn it around. And to do that, I'm going to take this out of here. Put this right there. And here we go. Let's see. what I want. Right about here.
Is your blank always the same length, Johnny?
Is what?
Is the blank always the same length every time? I mean, I don't know anything about the kit, so.
No, the kits come in various lengths. You can get them from, I believe it's 6 inches on up past 12. But normally what I do, I order a lot of them that are 10 inches because I make them various sizes. But the most popular one that I make is around 7 inches, 6.5 to 7 inches. And it's a good size. The ladies like it because they can grip it and do that. It's just a good size for that. Okay. And to make them, if you get a 10-inch, you can make a 4-inch out of it if you want to. Basically, the only difference in them, there's a 1/4-inch aluminum rod that goes from one end to the other end. And you can cut those. When we go to put it together, I will show that you can actually cut those. This is a 10-inch rod that comes with a 10-inch pepper mill kit. And I've already pre-cut this one here down to the size that's going to fit a 6.5-inch pepper mill. So, and all you do basically is cut it off with a hacksaw, take a hammer and peen the end of it over to make it bigger so it won't slide through. We'll get to that in just a minute. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to round this out real quick. And
now, can you let me know how you it is on listening to Johnny with the hood on? I can put a mic if he needs it. Go ahead.
okay. That's pretty close to where we want to be. Okay. We've got a little rough edge on there. We're going to take that out. You notice it's a pretty smooth cut, and that's from riding the bevel on this roughing gouge. Just spin a roughing gouge. If you ride the bevel on it, you'll get a smooth cut, almost like a skew. So, that being said, I'm going to put the last cut on it here with the skew. And let's see if that got it. Nope, still not running. Let's see if we got all the round out of it. Still got a little bad spot right there, and we're going to need that. So I'm going to hit it one more time. See what that looks like. A little spot right there. One more time. One more pass. I still feel one spot here. Yeah, we got one little flat spot there. Not going away. I'm going to say it's gone now. Let's do this. This is a story stick, and I use these for anything that I'm going to make more than one of. I'll draw up a story stick, and in these story sticks, I have basically the design of the pepper grinder that I'm going to make. I have little lines here where each of the little beads and coves are going to be cut, and there's a little V-notch in there that allows me to lay my pencil right in that V-notch.
Move that closer to the camera, higher to the camera so you can see it better.
I don't know if you can see it there, but these little V-notches, that's my pencil right inside of it there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that, and we'll do that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, one thing I didn't do, is square off the ends of it. I'm going to take my little bidan right now and do just that. Just in case I didn't get the ends squared up, and I cut them on the damn side. This is a piece of cherry wood, by the way, so we're going to do that and we're getting ready to drill it. But first, I'm going to have to cut a tenon on this end down here. And in order to do that, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to raise this tool up a little bit. Got a little low. Good thing, put a little dovetail on it. that will allow me to use a chuck here. So, back this out and put a chuck in here.
Three test. 1, 2, 3 test. 1, 2, 3 test. Let me try this. Somebody said you were getting an echo. I think it's because of the mask. It just bends any way you want to. Slip that in your pocket.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Let me turn that on. Okay.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Sounds good. It's louder.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That'll work then.
The problem was the problem on the echo was it was he's speaking underneath the mask and the camera and the mic wasn't picking up very well.
Might consider moving the mic a little bit away to the side of your mouth. We hear you breathing too.
Okay, I try not to breathe much, but I'll move it out the way here. Let's see. Is that better?
It's amazing what they'll ask you to do here.
I thought we were going to charge extra for the heavy breathing.
Only for you, Doug.
Guys are going to get our PG rating. You lock those down, Johnny?
Yes, that's we kind of had to use an adapter here from this Canadian lathe. Had to use an adapter down to 1.25 inches here, so we'll do that. Okay.
I didn't catch it. You weren't in your shop. I saw on one of the cameras there was dirt on the floor, and it really didn't set me off. I really should have caught it that time.
Yeah, let's see here.
I hope Trey's cooking you some good dinner.
Let's see.
Say again. I missed what you said.
I said, I hope you cooking Johnny a good dinner tonight.
There you go.
He came over after dinner.
Yeah, I had jambalaya there. You talk about Louisiana. That's.
You should have brought me some. That's the problem.
I made jambalaya today, so.
Johnny, did you have the center located on the right-hand side of the piece as you're looking at it? You went up to a point. Did you have a center located on that?
Yes, I did. There's, I used the step center on both ends. So, and when I flip it around, the step center is still right there. It's got the one indentation, the center is marked, and that should hold it right there. So, we'll see how it turns. Imagine that. It seems to work all right there. So, let's see here. I'll get in here. Yeah, I forgot about that. I moved out there.
Well, I want to go to this second image.
Okay. All right, here we go. what I'm doing is rolling beads here, and a lot of times it helps people roll beads. If you mark the center where your bead's going to be to kind of get it evened out there. It just and this is just a detailed spindle gouge. And we'll roll those beads there. Then I'm going to come back with my D-Dan again to cut this down to the size I want it to be there. So
And if you notice, when he's using the B-Dan, the bevel edge is up, not down.
yeah, that's something I learned just a while back there, that a lot of people use them up the wrong way up there, but that's the way it's done. So, okay, and then I'm going to cut this end down to where I want it. And I'm just going to cut this down with another spindle roughing gouge. Okay, now it's probably going to be a good time to drill this. I'll turn the speed down a little bit. Take my tailstock out and now we're going to change over to a Jacob's chuck or a drill chuck, depending on where you're from. So let's see here. And then we're going to come in here with 1 inch and 5/8 drill bit to make the recess. And I like to start with a short bit because the long bit tends to wander. And you may start in the center and wind up halfway out down there. But we're only going to go a 1/2 inch with this 1 and 5/8 drill bit. And that'll allow for a recess for the mechanism to sit in there. Okay. We're a little fast here. Let me crank this thing down a little bit.
Notice as he's drilling this, he's got his hand on that chuck at all times.
And why was that, Ronnie?
I'm sorry, what you said?
Why is he holding on the chuck?
He's holding on to the chuck for what somebody said earlier. If you don't hold on to that chuck can come out of the tailstock and you might get injured. Anytime you use a chuck on a tailstock, you want to hold it just like what Johnny's doing right here.
Oh, so when you pull it back out, it doesn't come out.
Correct.
And when you're pulling it back out, if it comes off, if it gets out of line a little bit, you'll get a vibration.
And basically it needs to be about a 1/2 inch. The magnet grabbed that thing. Scared me for a minute. Okay. I'll jump back like I've been bit. Let's see here. All right. Let's get a little air here. Oh, are we on? And then we're going to take this one out. And it calls for an 1 1/16 drill bit, which is the, and if you don't have the 1 1/16, which is not really a common size, you can also drill it out 1 inch and then widen it out a little bit with a gouge there if you want. But I happen to have an 1 1/16 bit here. And so we're going to get back in here and drill some more. Because you really don't want to burn up your drill bit, so.
Hey, Johnny, you might want to bring up to everyone why you drill the bigger hole first instead of the smaller hole.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I usually mention that, but unlike a twist drill, when you drill with a Forstner bit, you always drill the biggest hole first, because the Forstner bit leaves a little indentation for the next one. So that's with the Forstner bit, always drill the biggest hole first, and then your smaller one inside of there. Thank you. And
You're reminding me of my dentist every time you do that.
yeah, it kind of works the same way there. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to have to get precise here. So I'm going to take the measuring stick here, and this is going to be the top of the bottom half of our piece, and that is, get the big numbers, 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, change this a little bit out. And we're going to go to an extension.
And I don't like the way that moves in there. Okay.
Just stick some CA glue on it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go. Funny, I never thought of that. Hey, let's see here.
Yeah, but just make sure you have a release agent available.
Okay. As it turns out, that 5 1/4 is going to be right where that tape is. Can you imagine that? Isn't that a coincidence?
Now, for new turners, Doug was joking about that CA. Put nothing on your Morse paper. Nothing.
I always like to keep the hole blown out so that it doesn't overheat your drill bit.
What's the speed of the lathe, Johnny? How fast are you turning?
There's no indicator on this one, so I'm just going to guess. I like to do it around 500-600 RPMs normally, and that's pretty close to where it is right now, I would think. So. Okay, that's our 5 1/4 inches right there. So, so moving right along here. I'm going to take this out. Yes.
If you don't mind here, let me do a little bottom of the hour thing. You're tuned into Worldwide Woodturners, folks. This is Hughes. He's out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and he's turning a pepper mill for us. Johnny is one of our members. He's co-doing this with another one of our members, Trey Lynette. They're both in Trey's shop this evening, and they're doing this demonstration for us. We will have gallery this evening, and the gallery will be for members who have not shown before. So if you want to get on it, send us a chat. Doug Rose in Arizona, and he'll put you on a list. And Doug will be going to you for gallery as soon as this demonstration is done. We're watching Johnny Hughes right now, and if I can figure it out, I'm going to get out of here. There we go. Wait, all right, there.
Okay. Well, I've got it down at a slow RPM, 500-600, whatever it is. I'm going to go ahead and get quick sanding. So I got to get my pencil line over there. And the pencil line is really a good thing for a lot of folks when you're first turning beads. It'll help you to get the center of the bead more or less where you want it. Maybe I should have made a lighter line there. Yeah. Yeah, don't use a Sharpie on this. Okay. Now, normally, I'd go ahead and run this thing up to 320 grit and sanding. I've got one spot there I got to get out of here, though. I'd run it up to 320 grit. And then I spray them with water. And I let the water dry naturally. And that causes the grain to rise in it. And then I'll come back and start again with the 320 or 280 and bring it up to, you know, probably 320 to 400 on there to get it done out there. So one other thing I want to do here before I part it off is I want to touch up this bottom just a little bit. What I'm going to do here is take a spindle gouge. This is a Mark Soleil grind on it, and what I'm going to do is just kind of taper this edge here. It'll give it a smoother finish and taper it out, and I can turn it up for that. And that's a much smoother finish than what we had there. Okay. And there again, that's just a spindle gouge where it's been cut back. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's kind of pointed there on the end. Okay. I like those. And I'm going to come back in here and just kind of smooth this out, because this is going to be the last chance. You all in one tenon, so I'm going to do it all in one shot here. There you go. I'm not going to take up a lot of time sanding this.
Johnny needs a Band-Aid.
Yeah, that's... Don't ask me how I did that. I don't know. But I hit something somewhere, so...
Listen to the professional, Johnny.
Just put CA glue on it.
Super glue, right?
Well,
Super glue and wood shavings. You'll be good to go.
There you go.
We had to use duct tape because we didn't have a CA.
Yeah, duct tape works too. All right.
Just don't use accelerator.
I think
Okay.
Doug has some stock in the CA glue company. He keeps recommending it for everything.
Yeah.
It's my hero.
Now this is where I'm going to part the bottom part of the pepper mill off, because it's basically finished. And like I said, normally I would wet it down, let the grain rise, and then come back and sand it again to get it finer. But I can do that at another time. Normally, once I've raised the grain and sanded it down, I'll use a sanding sealer on it, and then I'll come back and put a lacquer finish on it. Lacquer is a pretty durable finish. Polyurethane is good for this too, or the tunnel blends are good. Well, the sanding sealer will raise the grain too. Yeah, so it's got enough alcohol in it and it'll do that. A lot of people use alcohol to raise the grain, but in my opinion, it doesn't get it wet enough and stay wet enough long enough to raise the grain. So I try not to do that, but bear with me 1 minute. I carry Band-Aids.
So does Brenda.
Yeah.
He went to the Brenda School of Wood Turning.
It sounds like Donald out of Australia this evening. Good evening, Donald.
Good evening, Eddie.
I couldn't drop too far. You can see all the mess in my shop.
Okay, we're good there. But anyway, that's what I do. Normally, I go ahead and sand this down to 320, 400, put some sanding sealer on it, and then cut it free here. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing loose. Any parting tool will work. I prefer a fluted parting tool. It gives you a cleaner cut when you part it off there. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if we measured everything right, there should be 1 1/4 inch hole down there. So, I want to catch this when it comes off of there. There you go. And it's off there. Okay. Yep, and you notice there's a hole all the way through it. Imagine that. So we got lucky there. Okay, I'm going to set it over to one side here for the time being. I'll point out something here. You can tell where the Forstner bit was here, where we cut all the way through. And that's 1 1/4 inch ring because we used 1 1/4 inch Forstner bit. So what I want to do, I'm going to come in here and cut down the sides of that and let this 1 1/4 inch piece stick down about 1/2 inch because it's going to fit inside of this hole to keep it from, it'll line it up with this. So, okay. So, let's do this. We'll get our parting tool. Now I want to see one other thing. Imagine that. Got it right the first time. And what I'm doing here, I'm making a recess in here that this is going to fit into. Because if you don't make a recess that this is going to fit into, it's going to look like a ball sitting on top of this, and you'll see a groove around here where the opening is. Okay, that looks like about 1/2 inch. Let's see what it looks like in real life here. I can't even read a ruler here. That's just over a quarter, which is probably going to be enough, but I'm going to do it like they say. Okay. Imagine that. And it fits right in there, and it's going to turn like a pepper grinder. We'll see to that. Okay, now I'm back to my storage stick, because the head of the pepper mill is on my storage stick here. And I know where I want to put it. It's going to come up right about here. And that will be the head of the pepper mill. So, turn this thing off before I move my... And I'm going to make another... Okay, and that's going to be about the center of the head of this pepper mill. Okay. I'm going back to regular spindle gouge to turn this. I'm getting a little vibration in there. And I'm not trying to turn a spear here. I just want to, I like them kind of flat on top, so when the hardware sits on it, it sits flat. So. Okay. I think we need a little more speed here. Back again with the bidan. Okay. Now, before I forget about it, this little dot right here, we're going to drill this all the way through with a 5/16 inch drill bit. And this is the best place to do it, right here on the lathe. So, because if I had forgotten about it altogether, then we'd had to do it on the drill press. But I didn't. Okay. So,
Is that a twist drill, Johnny, or a Forstner or brad point?
well, this is actually a brad point, but with the indentation in there, you could go ahead and use just a regular standard twist drill. And that would work fine. Turn my I'll speed down again. I like to drill slow because I don't like to burn up my drill bits. Oh. And here again, if I can remember where I put my measuring stick, I think it's right here. Little magnet there. Okay. That should be all the way through right there. I got this figured right.
That noise you heard was where Doug Hanby's beeswax comes in handy.
What's that?
That's where Matt Harbor's beeswax.
Exactly.
Yes, you heard that.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's it. We're through drilling now. And take this out. Now, it's just a matter of turning it on down and parting it off here. Turn that back on, turn that up.
You don't want to sand this first?
Yeah, we'll sand it before we part it off. Yeah, I'm gonna do that so I can sand it then. I'm going to part it off. There we go. It's off, but it's not round. We're going to take care of that right now. So. Well, my Allen wrench to take this off. Yeah. Huh? Oh no, I don't think that's the right size though. Not for the Novas. No. And I had one here. If I could remember where I put it. Well, that's embarrassing.
It wouldn't be a demo without something like this going on.
Everybody help look for a blue handle Allen wrench.
Great count.
Thank you.
It especially happens when you're not working in your own shop.
The thing was, is I tried to give him the blue handle Allen wrench, but that chuck doesn't use the standard blue handled Allen wrench. It uses some weird size.
Yeah, that's a Nova chuck.
It's metric. It's a Nova chuck. It uses a smaller Allen wrench.
It uses 8mm, guys.
There it is.
He found it. He found it afterwards.
Yeah, I want to need it again anyway, so.
What are you putting on now, Johnny?
I'm putting a smaller chuck that'll hold the head of the pepper grinder.
Does it not have the adapter on it, Johnny?
Yes, there's an adapter from the 33mm to the 1.25 inch.
He's got the pin jaws on there. That's what he's got.
Yes, that's what it is, the pin jaws. And they're going to allow me to come in here and hold the top of my feeder here. So let's do that. And it just slides right in there. Imagine that. And that'll allow me to turn this little bit off here. Stand back in case it comes over there. I think we'll be all right. Okay. I do have that tool rest a little bit high for this. So I'm going to come down to there, make one final pass from here all the way down. There we go. I don't like the way that looks right there, so I'm going to make a pass on this side.
There you go, the ridge.
Okay. Now we're going to turn this down a little bit. And we're going to give it a quick sanding. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out here is that I'll put my check key somewhere. This is, of course, is end grain. And one thing that you know is that end grain will soak up more whatever you put on it. If you put any kind of stains, dyes, or even finish, it'll soak up more into it. So when I finish sanding this, I will sand it down probably to 800 or even 1,000, because the smoother it is, the less it penetrates. And rather than having a real dark spot on the head of this pepper grinder, there it is. It's right there. And that works just like so. Now, through the magic, we're going to come over here and put it in the paint bin. And that's what it looks like with finish on it.
Oh, that's that. Trey used ornaments.
There it is with finish on it. Just like that. That's how quick that lacquer goes on.
Man, I need to find one of those.
Okay, I'm going to put this thing together real quick. And
I mean, that little board you had before may be good.
yeah, let me do that.
Position it directly under the camera.
Well,
one of those Craftsman drill press things for a pistol drill.
Exactly.
Not that I would know that, but
there you go. Okay. So what we're going to do here, and on this one, it already has the aluminum insert on the bottom, which turns the shaft. Okay, and I've also cut down the shaft to the length that I need here. And
I'll make a note on those on that the little Craftsman drill press thing. They have a 1-inch diameter shaft on them, and you can use that instead of paying $100, $120 for the one-way drill wizard. It works just as well. And if you watch out at flea market, you can pick one up for about $20.
now, all I have to do is find my gimlet. So, and when you put these screws in, it's best to pre-drill them when you put them in there. Okay. This piece here just simply slides into the recess here that you have. And this is a gimlet. I don't know if you all use those. Basically, it's a drill bit, but it's threaded on the end for self-starting. It's just a hand drill bit. So I'm going to drill this hole with the gimlet. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's probably deep enough for that. Or you put it on a drill press or with a cordless drill, any way you want to do that, okay? And then this piece here, and that's why after you cut it, you peen the head of it over so it won't go back through there, and it'll sit right there.
Can you flip your hood up?
Oh yeah, I probably don't need that now. So, all right, let's do that. Okay, so we have that in. We have our holes drilled. I got to put it down here where I can line it up, and that piece will go in there like so. This piece here is going to go over the same holes. And these little screws are going to go in there to hold that down. I'm going to take it down here for just a minute where I can see. And these are American-made pepper grinders mechanisms. I get them from a couple of different places there, but if you watch where you get them, they'll be good ones, American-made. And you can also do these with salt grinders. The salt grinders, the difference in them, they usually have a porcelain instead of a stainless steel bottom in them. And what I just put on there is just a little retainer that holds it, keeps it from coming out of there. Okay. But now we have our shaft up here. That's going to slide in right there.
Do the American-made ones have better screws in them?
Do on that other one. Pardon me?
Do the American-made ones have better
What
screws
was that?
in them?
I think so. I know the mechanism seems to be better. They last longer and do that. So, but
I made a few a long time ago, and it seemed like the screws were so tiny and short that they just didn't work well. They didn't hold well.
yeah, now some of them, the one kit that Craft Supply has little bitty screws for the top plate up here. So that's the finished pepper grinder right there. So
yeah, buy American, folks. Just buy American.
Yeah, that's it. But that's
sometimes it's hard to know though.
Where do you get screws?
well, these say right there, made in the USA.
Steel.
I don't know if you can see that, but they say made in the USA on them. So
How do you load the pepper in?
that's what they.
How do you load the pepper in, Johnny?
What was that?
So where do you get screws?
Ask.
Where do you get?
Where do you get what?
How do you load the
Ask the
pepper in?
question again.
How do you load the
Oh,
pepper?
the pepper goes in through the top.
Where do you get spare screws?
Hardware store.
Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. You pour your pepper into here.
Now, if you got any,
And that's it. Pour the pepper into there.
Can you set the grind to
Go ahead.
coarse or fine?
Yes, by tightening or loosening this screw, it pulls that piece in to give you a tighter or looser grind. It does. So
if you have any of that spare,
it's easy to adjust. You just turn this knurl knob. What was that?
If you have any of that spare Matt Harbor beeswax, you smear it on the inside of that joint where they come together. It'll glide a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now this has been lacquered and it glides rather well. But like you said, if you put the wax on it, it'll do better. One thing I forgot to do, and I hate to point out my own mistake here. Normally I cut a recess into here for that aluminum to go in, holds this rod. And I didn't do this in there and put the plate on there. But that's it. That's a pepper mill. And salt mills are the same way. Only just have a P on the top for the pepper, and they have a stainless steel mechanism where the salt has the S and the porcelain bottoms on them. But that's all it is.
Johnny. Half of the team.
Any questions?
Very, very.
Thank you, Mr. Johnny. Excellent job.
Great job, Johnny.
Thank you.
Nice work, Johnny.
Thank you.
Great demo.
Great
demo.
Thanks, Johnny. Great demo.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you, folks.
Well done.
Johnny. All right.
Did you not?
Nice
Did you
job,
notice
cameraman.
I was gonna say, did you notice I figured out how to do a split screen? That's the first time I've done that.
I saw that. I like it.
So played around with it this afternoon and figured out how to do it.
Does it add a spotlight? Okay. Folks, I told you that we would talk about video details on how to hook up shop cameras, etc., and go into your program if you want to do demonstrations. Unfortunately, I was gearing it all towards Mac, And I asked someone to bring me a PC so I could make it work on both systems. I can explain it more. They brought me a PC that won't accept any UBS cables or and cameras. So we're working on another PC so we can get that done for you. I didn't forget you. Just we jumped. Our membership came forth and said we'll do a demonstration for you tonight, so we can keep rocking and rolling. If you haven't seen it, we have an awesome website. There it is, right there, worldwidewoodturners.org. Our webmaster Dave is with us tonight. He puts just about everything up on that program. We're working to have one of the best free websites in the entire world, because it's the best free show in the entire world. And that's what we're working for. And I got a great team of folks that step in and help out when we need it. We have a special gallery. Let's start off with a little special gallery. 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. I'm Captain Eddie Castle, and you turn to Worldwide Woodturners. And we've had our demo tonight. We've talked about Freedom Pens. Doug's address is up on there. Hey, before you leave tonight, go to chat. And in the lower right-hand corner, you can hit a little button and it says Save Chat, and you'll have it on your computer. You hear that, Dave? Last week, Dave had a little technical problem. But you guys came to his rescue, put it out there, and y'all came back. A little special gallery this week for unintroduced Turners is how I set this out this week. But before we do that, it's time to talk to our safety director, and here's Jeff. Good evening, sir. Jeff. I'm
here.
I'm off. You're on, Jeff. Go.
Okay. Yep. I'm still seeing you, but everybody can see me?
Nope.
No.
You're not coming up yet, Jeff.
There he is.
There we go. Oops, there.
Jeff's on now.
Here. Hey, good evening, everybody. Be safe out there. When you're putting when taking a tailstock off, make sure it's secure where you lay it. One of the guys on Facebook showed where he laid it down and it fell off and smashed the handle. So now you have to wait for a new handle. It was pretty bad. Also it could have fallen on your foot or got hurt also. So be careful when you do stuff like that. I know they're heavy. When you're putting your safety equipment on, like your safety glasses, your face shield, and you got a tool in the hand, make sure you put the tool down. Where you go putting your stuff on and jab yourself in the eyes or fit, and you may only be lucky just to get a cut, not jab your eye out. So be careful with that. Also be careful. Always think of safety. Somebody was showing where stopped his table saw and a bunch of teeth were missing. I don't know where they went, but be careful. Line of fire. I've never had one break like that, but that's pretty scary. Probably hit something and broke them off. So make sure you got your safety gear on and try staying out of the line of fire. Another person complaining about plywood from other countries between the resins and the dust. You never know what they're putting in there. Got really sick after, weeks after he had cut a lot of plywood. Make sure you wear your respirators, your safety equipment at all times when you're doing wood. Even if you can't see it, the fumes, the dust, wood chips, eye protection, stuff to cover, all that stuff. So be careful, be safe out there, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the update this weekend. Remember, it's better to be safe than good. Really, it is. Watching our gallery tonight is First Sergeant Doug Rowe in Arizona. Doug, do you have somebody up on a bullpen tonight? Hello, Doug. First Sergeant, did we lose him?
No, you didn't lose me. I'm here.
All right, you blinked out there. All right.
Uh-oh. I'm in the chat or in the members trying to pull up the first one's going to be Gerald Avery.
All right, Gerald.
Hi, how you doing?
I just had him. Now I got to find him again so I can spotlight him.
Gerald, say it once.
Yeah, I'm right here. Got a football in front of you. Can you see the football yet?
No, I see it. We're not getting an image. We see your name.
Is your video camera on?
Yes, I think so. I'm seeing myself.
Oh, there we go.
Gerald, hit Alt V to turn your video on.
We got him. We got you.
All right, there it is. When I started this, it was over a year ago, so I didn't know that I should have a Vince Lombardi base on it. But I live just outside of Tampa. I've lived in Tampa Bay area all my life. This is 14 individual rings, 12 rings per, 12 segments per ring. So you end up with 168 segments, and then a little piece for the top, and then a little oak base. This is, I thought it was all cherry wood. Evidently, it turned out one layer wasn't cherry wood.
It looks good, though. Good
Now,
accent.
when I made it to put snacks in. It's about a quarter of an inch.
I like it.
Thank you.
That's
So
nice.
anyway, I got to make a new base for it. But I didn't actually produce 14 rings individually. What I did is I made 2 rings at a time out of 1. Because you can imagine you're stacking these. You need a small one here and you need a big one up there somewhere. So instead of actually making 14 rings, I only had to end up making 9. Just cut the rings into 2 pieces.
1 second. I got to mute everybody and come back to you, Gerald, because we have some interference coming up. Gerald, stick with us. We're going to get back to you. All right. Doug, can you take the mute off of him? Gerald, can you?
Try here.
Just a
Okay.
second, I'll mute him.
So anyway, instead of it being actually making 14 individual rings, I made some of the rings wider than they needed to be and then cut the rings in half with a parting tool and then stacked them together.
Cool idea.
So that saved a little bit of effort, a little bit of time too, but still took me over a year to do it. Other projects going on.
Life.
But anyway, when I get the new base for it, made up for it, I'll send a picture in of it.
Great. Send it to our website so we can post it on there because that's where we like to see the beautiful stuff.
Okay, thank you.
That's nice work, Gerald.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go Bucks.
That is nice.
Is that Gerald up next?
All right, Gerald Jensen is up next.
Yeah, I'm unmuted, I guess, so here I am. See, a pepper mill. I did a bunch of these over the holidays this year. And, it's staved cherry and it has maple separators, or I'm sorry, walnut separators between the staves. And kind of along the line of what Gerald Avery was just doing there, I did a pair of these little balls. These were actually turned out of one set of rings. And the reason that I did them is I built a sled for the bandsaw to slice rings in 2 or 4 parts, whatever thickness I needed. And the thing that I was concerned about is keeping safety in mind, keep my fingers away from the bandsaw blade while I was doing the cutting on them. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the show. That's nice stuff.
Yeah, those are cool.
Very nice work.
What's up, Doug?
Nice.
All right, let me see. Who do I got next? That was Gerald. Bob Grinstead. Let me find you, Bob.
All right, yeah, let me, I just have a couple of items to show.
And you are spotlighted.
All right, I just have a couple of items to show. A couple little boxes. There was one. This one here is out of a crepe myrtle. And then another one here out of pecan.
Really nice.
Nice work.
Really nice.
Nice boxes, Bob.
Yeah.
Can you show us the bottoms? Hold them up a little bit longer. And there you go.
Bottom and, bottom of that one.
Those are
The one in your right hand, the one that you had in your right hand on the bottom, it looks like you got a bark inclusion or something right there.
Yeah, it had a bark inclusion on it,
Beautiful.
but it doesn't go all the way through. I mean, you've got a couple of pieces like it came in at an angle there, but
I like it. Yeah.
very nice.
it turned out good.
I like the way you hide the seam between the lid and the box with the rig around it.
Yeah, kind of hides it a little bit.
That looks real good.
Thanks.
Yep. It's all in the emails. Doug, what else we got tonight, sir?
Okay, so this next one, we're going to test out my technology skills here with my phone. So Ray Worthley, he doesn't have a camera, but he had something to show. So he texted it to me. So I'm going to share my screen and show y'all something sent in by Ray Worthley. Give me just a second. I think I need to take the spotlight off.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. So then let me close here. Let me go to share screen.
Spotlighted you, Doug.
Where do I go? Right there, screen, I think. Maybe. What are you all seeing?
We see you. You're spotlighted, Doug.
God, that's a beautiful face. I never get tired of looking at me. Easy top. Easy top. Select more photos. Here it is. All right, and done.
You're lucky.
We're still seeing you.
You're still seeing me? What the heck? This
Yep.
thing is awesome. You guys gotta see this thing. And only I'm the one seeing it. How about now?
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
That's made by Ray Worthley.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Very pretty.
A lot of spalting now.
Very nice. Yeah, that's really nice. And the spalting is just crazy.
Ray, are you there? Can you talk the piece?
Where is Ray from?
It says
Wow.
HSVAR, which implies Arkansas.
Doug, what's the wood?
I don't know. He just sent me the picture. That's why I was hoping he'd be able to talk about it. I don't know if he's muted.
Looks like maple. Maybe birch.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, here, I'll just start making stuff up. So what Ray's got here is a piece of wood he found on the ground. He turned the top out of ebony. The little lace on the bottom was made by his wife. I'm completely making this up, folks. I have no idea. But all righty, Ray, hopefully you admire us. Everybody loves your piece.
That spalting's amazing.
The bad news is we got to go back to looking at him.
Nah, I removed the spotlight.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me cross Ray off. Okay, we need to find ourselves Joe Klein. Joe Klein is next.
I'm in love.
I'm looking for you, Joe. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
There it is.
Oh, I got a name. Oh, you got to say something, bud.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I guess my audio doesn't work.
I hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
My video's on.
Alt V will get your video on.
I got a Joe Forstner, but I'm looking for Joe Klein.
Joe Klein's video is not on, not started. There it is.
Joe Klein needs Alt V to get his video on.
Is it on now?
Yes,
Yep.
you're
Yes.
spotlighted, Joe. Go.
Oh,
There you are.
okay. I've been turning for about a year and a half now. I'm on to my second lathe. I started with a midi lathe and I went up to a full-size lathe. I found a piece of wood on the side of the road. I think it was oak. So I made a little bowl and out of half of it. So I decided to make a matching bowl, but it kind of fell apart as I was turning it. So I made a very shallow bowl. So I've kind of got a set, but one's big, one's shallow.
Got a bowl in a saucer.
Yes. So
That looks like
half-
maple.
Actually, I think it was oak.
Doesn't look like oak, but okay.
That's what the guy on the corner said it was because he cut down an oak tree.
Okay.
Yeah, that don't look like oak.
Maybe white oak.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
I see you from Metairie, so we almost neighbors. I live in Metairie and all. Are you a relationship related to Arnold?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm originally from Ohio, transplant down here.
Well, you live in Metairie, so after this COVID's all off, we'll have to get together and tell some lies.
Sounds good. After I did the bowl, I decided I wanted to try to learn how to use a skew because those things scare the death out of me when I first started. So I started making seam rippers. It has a stiletto on one end and a little seam ripper on the other. And I'm strictly using a roughing gouge and a skew to make them. And I think I'm getting the hang of it. but it still scares the death out of me.
Yeah, it looks like you're getting the hang of it, Joe.
Well,
nice,
Joe,
Joe.
Joe, the skew is the most respected tool that you'll have in your arsenal. And they say once you master the skew, you've mastered everything.
I'm working on it, but I'm also having issues with finishes. I've tried super glue or the CA glue, and I've used tight bond, but after about 30 minutes, it turns cloudy. So I end up shaving it off and putting on my old standard of lacquer.
Might
Okay,
be the brand of glue you're using.
We're gonna do a special pretty soon, Joe. And
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know
looking for.
I don't know what type of super glue or CA glue you're using, but we're gonna do a special on that. And Eddie's gonna do it with what he has, and I'm gonna do it with the Parfix. And you'll be able to see exactly how easy it is.
Like I say, I'm using Starbond. I think it's Starbond, the very thin stuff, and it goes on really nice. It looks really good for about 20 minutes, and then about half of it turns cloudy.
Okay. Well,
It may
we're
not be your
gonna get
glue.
to that, and we'll help everybody out with that.
It may not be a glue. It may be the material you're putting it on. So we'll talk about that. We do the CA.
Joe,
Sounds
what
good.
kind of finish do you have on the bowls?
Right now, I used OB Shine Juice, then I put lacquer over it.
Very nice. I love the shine.
Yeah, looks good. Really nice. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Who else we have there? I'm going to get spotlight off me.
All right, next up is going to be Paul Hannaby. He's one of our co-hosts, so he's right up at the top. Where'd he go? Right there.
Flip side.
Spotlight for everyone. There you go, buddy.
I got this one here.
The other side of the pond.
It's made out of sweet chestnut. It was a piece that somebody brought to me in December and asked me to turn a bowl from it, but it was too wet to turn them something that they wanted to give for Christmas. But I've managed to dry it out and finish this one this week. But
took a little bit of a hook. Did it get a little wobble?
There's some nice figurines sort of in the inside. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but right in the bottom here, there's some nice figurine in there. I don't think the camera's picking it up too well, but
yes. Yeah, it's very nice.
It's in there somewhere. But that's finished with just straightforward boiled linseed oil as a salad bowl. So very simple finish. A few coats of that, and that's it.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Eddie?
Yes, sir.
We mentioned earlier, tonight was a special night for all members that have not come forward and showed us anything, or even if you don't have anything to show, come forward, break the ice, introduce yourself, tell us what kind of lathe you have, where you live, what do you like to turn, if it's a bowl, pins, or exactly what you'd like. And you'd be surprised. You know, a few months ago, there's a lady that's on here every week, and she mentioned to us, and her name is Brenda. She mentioned to us, why don't we have a picture of the country and show every state that we're represented in. That was a great idea, and we took that idea and we ran with it, and Dave put it on the website. So just anything like that. We'd like to break the ice and for you to come forward, introduce yourself, and let's all be friends like everyone else is in this club. This club belongs to you. What we make of this club, we all make of it. So we welcome you to come forward.
Everybody here tonight, Ronnie, learned something from that demonstration that Johnny just did for us.
Every week when these meetings are over with, you think back a hint, a tip, or a trick, and that's what you get out of belonging to a club. You know, so if we quit giving you a hint, a tip, or a trick, we're not doing our job.
Oh, did you mention that it's all free?
Oh, yeah. And there's no membership dues. There's no secret handshake. Someone earlier said, how do you get in the click? How do you get in the click? You press that button and introduce yourself, and we'll welcome you as much as you want to get involved.
Because it is your club. I don't know if anybody else can say that, but we can say it's your club. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate you bringing that up. We also said we would do a little special gallery tonight. And I don't know if we had any I don't want to call them new members or backstage members. If you haven't shown before, we want to see your work. If you just want to say hello, push the space bar and say hello, be there. This is, it's about 30 minutes after the hour. In about 33 minutes, we pull the plug on this thing. If you want to chat, let's go. Talk. What do you have?
All right. Hey, I got, she's a relatively new turner. She didn't have much experience at all. Hold on just a second. Let me find the person. Guys, she needs a lot of help. Just advise her as best you can. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Bear with.
Let's talk slow.
Yes.
This is wood turning.
Thanks. Is it the blonde hair?
Tim, was that your sister that introduced you?
Oh yeah, my double. He's my stunt double.
I love that.
All right, so I've been working on this project for 3+ months. Yeah, and I finally finished it.
Whoa.
It is
wow.
It is a Buckeye burl that was sent to me by a subscriber in Texas. He actually had family that lives down south of me. So when they were on their way home from Texas, they dropped it off at the interstate because I live close to the interstate, and we met at a hotel and they gave it to me, which is amazing to go through all that just to get me a piece of Buckeye burl. It was a really big, huge piece. And I wanted to make an underwater, I had a picture in my head of what I wanted to do. And it was an underwater cave, like you were diving, with graduated colors. And yeah, so it took me a long time. Took me a long time to pour it. And then I just finished it up yesterday. So it's heavy and thick. And
what's the dimensions on that?
This is 16 3/4 inch wide, and it's about 2.5 inches tall.
Did you put it in a pressure pot, or did you just do it?
I did not, because I don't have a pressure pot big enough. I just put it in a mold, and I put it in the mold this, sitting up this way instead of this way, and I just poured an inch at a time, and then I graduated the colors to be dark and then light and then back to dark again. So that's why you can see the lines.
Yes.
Because I had to pour it an inch at a time. Otherwise it would overheat. And I did that down here, and it created like a boiling bubbles, which kind of added life to the piece, which was really cool. But you don't want that to happen, because it will, exothermic reaction will cause it to actually crack, and because it gets too hot. Resin, at least Total Boat's resin, cures by an exothermic, which is a reaction that when you mix A and B together, it creates a heat that causes it to cure. The more you mix in one container at one time, the faster that reaction happens. And so that's why they tell you, make sure you don't mix too much at once, and then don't pour it more than an inch on top of itself. So that would go for like a big long river table, or, a piece like this. And I poured this piece took over 6,394 grams of resin. I didn't pour all that at once, but that's the total amount of resin I poured for this piece. It's a lot of resin. But I used the 3-to-1 thick set, which is a slow curing resin. So it allows time for the air bubbles to surface and release, and not all the time that actually happened. And it's because I mixed it when it was really cold outside, and therefore it stays thicker and it held on to the air bubbles. But I kind of go over that in my video. This will be this week's video, and kind of explain a little bit of stuff to help you.
You live in Florida. How
Yes,
cold is really cold outside?
Have you seen these bones? Come on, it's cold.
She needs some insulation.
Yes, I need
Ki-
insulation.
Anything
Anything
I only
below
have
60 degrees?
Well, we were actually in the 20s a few weeks ago, and I had ice in my wheelbarrow that was full of water. What's crazy is we're real humid, and humidity, resin and humidity don't like each other as well. So it's not just the cold factor, it's the humidity factor will also take resin forever to cure. And we're just real humid here in Florida, and our weather is like this. Yesterday I was bundled up cold, and today I'm in a tank top. That's just, anyways.
Kim, I have a question.
Kim, I only have one word for that piece. Stunning.
Thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. Also, I have another tip before we go about pepper grinders and stuff. Wait a second.
Kim, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You talked about how much resin you used on that piece. Relating that to, I'm saying that resin comes like in a gallon jug of this and a gallon jug of that. Did you use more than a gallon
I think 6,394 grams is what, like a gallon and then some, I think.
Oh, okay.
But the 3
Hey,
to 1.
Siri, how many gallons is 693 grams?
There you go. It's a 3 to 1. It's a 3 to
Siri's
1.
not
So you get a gallon of the A, and then it's just a third of that gallon,
right,
for B. So it was probably that whole gallon. I know I had started off and I had used just a little bit out of one gallon, and then I completely used that up and then used another part of another one. So it was probably like a gallon or so, a little more.
Let me just remind everybody, if you want to see this piece that Kim Tippin did, go to YouTube, put in her name, and she's bringing you along the way with this piece. You can see her pouring it, and maybe this week or next week we'll see the final piece on your
Tomorrow.
video.
Yeah, tomorrow it will be finished. I had part 1 2 weeks ago, couldn't finish it in a week. So it will be up tomorrow. I'm so excited about being done.
So the club got a sneak peek.
Yes.
Kim, you said you had something about the pepper grinder.
Yes. So I've always wanted to do pepper grinders, but I didn't want to spend the money on the kits and then end up brewing them because, little dainty stuff like that and parts and stuff, it frustrates me very easily. So what I did is I went to the thrift store, and they have tons of them. And two things I like about buying these thrift store pepper grinders is, one, they already have, they come already made. Obviously they're somebody made them or they bought them at the store. You can take all the mechanisms and everything out of them. They're all screwed in. You can unscrew them. What I loved about this idea is, now these I haven't done. These are the ones I just bought. I paid like $1 or 50 cents for these, and, already done. They have, it's already turned. So if you doubt your dimensions or you doubt, I'm a visual learner. So having something like this that I can take apart, my father was a mechanic and I was kind of raised in the shop. So pulling things apart and putting things back together was how I learned, to do stuff. So to me, this was kind of an awesome way to begin learning, these little intricate parts, because you already have these pieces made, so you can have a visual on what it's supposed to be versus just this guts, and then you're supposed to make things of this certain dimension. So if you're nervous about pepper grinders or whatever else, just go to the thrift store, buy one that's already made, and they're like, I buy them for 50 cents, 99 cents, whatever, really cheap. And you get the innards, and then worst comes to worst, if you mess it up turning, you can just stick it back in here and it's still usable.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Great idea. Great idea. All right.
Not to mention that's probably cheaper than the kits.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, by a long shot.
Or if you drop the parts. I probably got horseshoes down there. I'll never find. Doug, do we have anybody else up for gallery? It's 36 minutes after the hour. What you got? Oh, I see him now.
Dave Leader, you're up, buddy.
Dave, that's you.
Got it. Okay, I have another piece of walnut for one of those little battery operated candles. And this time I did some chatter around and I painted it with gold paint by freehand, which is really hard for me. I don't have very good freehands. That's about it.
Okay, thank you,
Nice
sir.
job.
Thank you.
All right. If your
Very
name
nice.
is Steven, get ready. I'm looking for you here right quick as I scroll through.
Right here.
I hear you, but why don't I see your name? Are you up at the top?
I got him.
You got him? Okay.
Okay, so I'm
There it
pretty
is.
new. You got me?
Yeah.
We got
Okay, I'm pretty new to turning. I've done woodworking all my life.
Yeah, you've told us that in the past. We don't believe you because your stuff's too good, but go ahead.
So my wife is the president of her spinning guild for spinning wheels, and a lot of the women have spinning wheels that are breaking down and need parts. And one of them had a part that was it's called a distaff, and it sits on top of the spinning wheel, and it holds the fiber, and then they grab that off of the distaff and feed it into the spinning wheel. And it was pretty much shattered. So I made a new one out of cherry, and let's see if I can get back a little bit further. It's about 14 inches or so in length. And here's my wife here. And you would put the fiber in here, and then this sits in a horizontal post, and that's mounted onto the spinning wheel. So I turn the center spindle here, and I turn the two ends, and there's a spigot on both ends of the spindle, and I glued it together, and I took I put these in an angle on the drill press at 10 degrees, and then I cut these down on the these are square, about 1/8 of an inch square, and I cut them on a table saw, and I put them in hot water and bent them and let them dry in a clamp overnight, and they held their form, and then I put them in the holes that are drilled at 10 degrees, so it gives it that angle. So
Really nice,
hopefully this will fit into the spinning wheel that it came from.
That's
Also-
amazing.
That's
This is
cool.
called a lantern style cage or for the distaff. And there's bird cages that are different. There's just different styles, but this is a lantern style.
That is absolutely awesome.
I love it.
Nice work, Steve.
That's
Thank you.
It looks
Thank you.
beautiful. Really
Oh,
nice.
that's great.
Very nice.
I'm still trying to learn how to do beads. They're not real uniform, but they're there.
I wanted to mention while
They
you're
look fine.
showing that, and your wife does fiber arts, and I do a little crocheting and stuff, but we have a local fiber arts shop in town, and I was peeking through, they were closed, but I was peeking through their windows, and they have a lot of there's a lot of stuff you can turn for fiber arts. I mean, it's amazing the amount of stuff you can turn. So if you're
got
I
a
mean,
list.
so useful. Yeah, I'm sure you do. And I have a list for myself, and it's always put on the back burner. But if you look around at your local fiber arts, or even there's all kinds of guilds and things like that they meet, clubs just like wood turning. And if you find online or get a hold of somebody and find out what useful wood turn items you can turn for these, it could be very profitable. I mean, because these ladies will pay good money for good tools. It's just like us with wood turning, you know, that's how we do what we do. So that's a very good money making idea if anybody's interested. And usually it's smaller, not so crazy stuff. And what he made there, I'm so impressed with that, because I know exactly what it's used for. And I think, What a great moneymaker.
Yarn bowls.
You mentioned
yarn
that I am
bowls.
president of the South Jersey Guild of Spinners and Hand Weavers. So
Awesome.
he's got it in because I always promote what he does.
Absolutely.
And so antique spinning wheels are coming our way for, he's making replacement parts for something that's broken, a bobbin, whatever it is. And so he's getting a reputation.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah.
Very, very
You
good,
can make-
profitable niche.
Whether he wants one or not.
You can make a good living off that. Everybody who just makes seam rippers, drop spindles, wheels, all for spinners. And he's made a really good living for himself doing it.
Yeah.
Pre-lockdown, they used to have knitting circles, and they called it, or stitch and bitch, or whatever they called it. And basically what you do is you walk into your local yarn shop, find out when they're meeting, and go visit them and ask what they want, and take a yarn bowl or something, you know?
Well, yeah, they have conventions and meetups where they get booths and they sell materials and chat and network. I went to one time and I handed cards around. Well, I was so busy for months.
Yep. And they love, and Stephen and
they
his
come
wife
back.
Yeah, Stephen and his wife are right. They love handmade, well-made stuff, and there's all kinds of things they use that we can provide. So yeah,
A lot of them are buying, old antique spinning wheels, and they're always missing parts. You know, and most of the parts are turned.
Or they're broken or cracked, need refinishing or restoration. Yeah.
Bring back these trades. Bring back all these trades that are once lost, and let's all support one another doing it.
I've got another way of getting your wood turning into the sewing communities. My brother and I became the Snippy Bros, sharpening scissors and knives. And so we've got a little machine that we take to the retreats and the sewing guilds and the quilt shows, and we charge, $5 to sharpen knives or scissors. And then the rest of the table is filled with wood turning stuff that they pick up and go with.
You said you get $5 for a pair of scissors?
Sharpen.
Sharpen.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of cheap. I was paying like close to 40 to 50 just to get, I was a hairdresser, and I was paying 40 to 50 to get my hair scissors sharpened.
Okay,
that's cheap.
Don't confuse clip shears, hair cutting shears with sewing scissors. They're not the same. The shears are expensive. The lessons to learn how to sharpen the shears are very expensive. So that's a whole different realm. But I do, a set of kitchen knives at $5 a piece, scissors, any kind. I can't correct the edge cutters. What do you call them? Pinking shears. Yeah, I can't correct the teeth on those, but I can put a new fresh edge on that, and they're delighted to get that service. And it also lets me put in my Ripper Turner things out on the table, and they snap those up too.
I was just thinking at $5, I got a box of 50 my wife brought me, but I'm like, this might be lunch money for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's the queen of quilting, and the other day we were talking about the equipment that I have, and she said, "What happened to that real fancy grinder?" I said, "Well, it's right there." And I brought it out a couple of years ago and did a pile of scissors. Should not have opened my mouth. Okay, what else we got? It's 8:45 or quarter to the top of the hour.
Next up is going to be John Brown.
There he is.
Yeah, I'll have to, I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Last week, I had mentioned that I was looking for a bottom lock for the tailstock on a mini lathe, and they apparently don't make them anymore. So here is the original, what is on the bottom of a locking washer to keep a tailstock locked down. And I know from experience that square ones are better. So here is what I made. made out of a piece of oak, and I'd cut it and cut the channel in it on a bandsaw and then drilled a hole in it. And then on the bottom of it, I put a large flat washer that I found around the shop here on the bottom to keep the nut.
Hold it up a little higher.
Yeah,
there we go.
I can't, my fingers are in the way and I have to hold it on there. But I put the lock, I don't use a lock washer, that's not good. I put that large flat washer on the bottom so that the nut on adjusting nut doesn't eat into the wood. And you would be surprised how much better holding power that has. Now, one way makes that standard on their lathes, but the other companies just use those round washers. And if you want to make the tailstock hold better, why make a square one for it? It's amazing. And I have another piece, but you had been talking about Celtic knots. And back in 2012, I made these ornaments, Christmas ornaments that were Celtic knots on them. And I made 60 of them at that time. I had jigs made to make 4 at a time, but that's
some great detail, John.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice, John.
Okay, that's all I've got.
Very nice work.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Showing us that holder again.
Pardon me?
Thank you for showing us that base piece again.
Yeah, it's not, they're not hard to make.
All right, next up we got Glenn.
Okay, I had our local club, wood turning club here in Corpus Christi. We've had a challenge this month for turning items out of 2x4s, and I've shown some items on here before out of 2x4s, and I had got the idea of wanting to turn a finial, but I wanted to turn something a little different, and so I took a copy of printed out a copy of a finial, put it on my printer, and I doubled it on my printer. So then I come up with this one here, and it's about 9 inches overall length. So I doubled the sizes on everything, and I broke the tip off. So I turned a little about a 1/4 inch ball out of walnut and put it on the tip. And I took 2 pieces of 2x4, glued them together, and just made a finial double the size of a regular finial. So
ding, ding, ding.
Looks
You
good.
just became a member of the 2x4 club.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice, a nice grain in it. Is that Douglas fir?
It's just probably Home Depot 2x4. I think it's pine.
You never know what you get there.
Yeah.
Whatever come off the sawmill.
Yes.
Very good. Glad to see you do that out of a 2x4.
Thank you.
Thank you. A member of the 2x4 team. Right.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hey, this is Jay. I have a tip for everybody in case somebody doesn't know this. I'd like to share.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as far as the finishes go, that one gentleman, I can't remember what his name was, but he said that about 30 minutes after he finished it, it would turn white. They're kind of a milky color.
Yes.
That happened to me before. And what I had to keep in mind was if the humidity outside was very high, it would, my piece, especially spraying lacquer, they would turn like a milky color and I'd have to start all over. So here in Arkansas, if I don't spray or do any type of finish with lacquer anyway, if the humidity is 70 or above, the perfect, for me, I've found that the perfect humidity level is anywhere from like 40 to maybe 60, somewhere in there. I just don't know. I thought it might help somebody out there.
Okay, well, we're talking earlier a lot. It can be the material you're putting it on, not the CA, or any other finishes. Remember, finish is the final step. and you have to prep to get to that final step. I don't really, it doesn't matter what product you use. You sand, you seal, you sand, you dry, you buff, you know, you have a process to get to your finish. If something quirks in that process, it will quirk your finish. I came up in a cabinet shop where the first thing we did was oil and lacquer, oil and shellac sealer, and that let us know what the natural tendency of the wood would be. And then we would address that for a finish coat. But there was always that one prep step that it was like when I got started, a lady came in the shop and we had a beautiful walnut table that the guy did. And she said, how's that going to look with a finish on it? And Wimpy spit right on it. He rubbed the nose. It's about like that. And that lady like to die. You just spit on her table. But that had the same effect. It gave that wet look to the walnut that he had. All right, 8 minutes before the top of the hour. I'm Captain Eddie Castle. You're tuning in to worldwidewoodturners.org. Remind you, please save your chat before you go off tonight. We got a ton of information on it. And one of those things is your freedom pens. We have people protecting our way of life, our home, everything about us is being protected by our military, and they're all volunteers. And the way we say thank you is to send them some freedom pens. So if you turn a pen, I don't care what it looks like, what style it is, what color ink. The Air Force likes blue and the Army likes green or black. But if you turn a pen, send it on to Doug Rowe. And that information is also on our website, worldwidewoodturners.org, where we have great photographs, great features. People write articles for us and put it all out there. And our webmaster takes all this and puts it in the world's greatest wood turning program, yours. So anybody else this evening got 5 minutes.
Hey, Eddie, who sells that OB shine juice?
Oh, you make it.
You can make it.
You make it. It's so complex. It's 3 products, equal, and it's denatured alcohol, clear shellac, and boiled linseed oil. Don't boil the oil. Buy boiled linseed oil.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have any space to, get that stuff or store it or anything here in my apartment. So
we have to find somebody. I can get Ronnie to send you some. Well, no, not right. Ronnie's going to send you a king cake. I'll work on it.
All right, Edward.
Hey, Eddie, we're getting short on time, and we got one more that I haven't heard from before. Let me see if he has shared with us before. But let me get up John here. Where did you just go? I just had you. Here you are. And spotlight. Whereabouts in Arizona are you at?
Phoenix.
Phoenix,
Arizona.
I'm down there Monday through Friday, but by God, I live up here in Prescott Valley. All right, buddy, you're up. What you got for us?
Well, I'm way north Phoenix, so we're not that far away. But I wanted to join the 2x4 club. And so I went up to Home Depot and got some 2x4s. And I also, our local, I used a birdhouse made out of 2x4s.
Hey.
Hey, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Work.
And our local Arizona woodturners that used to meet, hasn't met for about a year now. Their monthly challenge is you have to use something metal. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. And this is off a hummingbird feeder, and it was all rusty. And so I painted it up John Deere green. And so I'm in the 2x4 club, and I did the metal challenge for Arizona woodturners. So there you go,
John. We have to put you. We're going to put you down right now. In fact, Eddie has it right now.
There you go.
There's your name. You're official now.
This is a very proud day. I just want to say that.
I want to put in a good word for the Arizona Woodturners Club. I used to live there, and I was in that club for quite a few years. It's a large club, and they have excellent demonstrations. Of course, right now I know they're not meeting, but Doug, if you get a chance to get up there and go to that club meeting sometime, if you haven't been there.
No, I have. I'm part of the Prescott area Woodturners.
Okay.
which we cover all of northern Arizona.
That's
but
even
I've
farther
not
away.
done anything
That's
with
even
it.
farther away from you. You got to go through Phoenix to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you said you're in North Phoenix?
Yeah, I'm way north.
Like whereabouts?
Well, like I-17 in Dove Valley,
I
Carefree.
know, yeah, I pass it twice a day on my way to work and on my way home because I work at 52nd Street in McDowell.
Oh wow, you have a
Yeah,
big.
so, yeah, that's my commute every day. So
You
might have
commute from Tucson? Wow.
Prescott Valley. Well, you're welcome to come by and look at the shop, and I do make things other than pine things. Okay, 2x4s.
Yeah.
So I own all the walnut in the world, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. So.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready to get out of that,
Send it to me.
Right up here in Prescott Valley.
Send it to me too.
I'll take these.
I know exactly what to do with that walnut.
Yeah, well, that's another story. But Doug, just message me your email or phone number or something.
Yeah,
you can also get African sumac around Phoenix, and I love that wood. It's got a beautiful grain to it, and it's easy to turn.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. There's a ton of mesquite, as you know, and mesquite is just wonderful to turn. And every monsoon season, whenever a tree blows down, we always get emails from the club about it.
Yep.
So, yep.
I'd love to get a hold of some mesquite up here.
Yep.
Mesquite's wonderful.
I got friends that go to Florida yearly. Well, they did when we could travel. And they had a couple mesquite trees on their property that had to come down, and a couple Texas ebonies. Mm-hmm. And they dried them and stuck them in the back of their camper and brought it home for me. So I have a couple of fair logs of mesquite and Texas ebony to play with.
Nice. We got a lot of acacia. That's really pretty wood.
That's really nice stuff.
Yeah, acacia and mesquite are very much alike. They look very much alike. And mesquite in Arizona, around Phoenix area anyway, is almost like junk wood. There's so much of it. It's just everywhere. Very available. Yeah.
There ain't no junk wood.
Oh my God, it's pine.
It's all good.
Pine, and more pine.
Well, the last one I had up for gallery, he's another relatively new turner. He's probably going to need some help out there too. Cade, let's bring Cade back up. There he is.
I see Cade.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Cade hasn't been turning very long, so if we can help him out.
Yeah, any tips are welcome. I had a friend who's a chef who was redoing his whole kitchen in acacia. So he gave me a whole bunch of offcuts and said, if you can get a couple rolling pins out of it, I could use some, and the rest is yours. So I said, okay, no problem. I'll make you a set of pins. So I made this one, which is a chef's style baking pin.
Wow, that's pretty.
Very nice.
And then I have a French style rolling pin here. It's hard to see the grain with the light or the.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, there we are.
That's
beautiful
awesome.
Curly rays and this stuff. And a lot of it's perfect small stuff for boxes and different things. So that's your baker's one, your French one. And then he also does like dumplings and wontons and different things. So here's a 5-inch dumpling rolling pin. It's conical, so it sort of rolls on its side like this. But a 5-inch one and a 6-inch dumpling rolling pin. And I'm going to do another one, another small French style rolling pin, because he wants to teach his small son. And then I have a couple of things from the offcuts. And they're kind of Valentine's Day gifts. So my wife and I are expecting our first child. So I'm on a bit of a baby kid. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're excited. So I've made a couple things for the mom-to-be and the grandmas for Valentine's Day. So here is a little acacia baby rattle.
Awesome.
is acacia. The bottom is acacia. And I engraved a little BB, which is baby bulgur. And the little button on the end is pink ivory, but it's no significance to the sex yet because we don't know, and we're going to keep it a surprise. So one of these is for grandma. Here's another one, a little bit of a different design for grandma.
Your finish on those, Cade.
The finish is tongue oil.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
And then this one, which I did segmented, it's cherry and maple. Cherry, maple. And you can see the lettering right there. And there's that one. That one will be Lindy's. And then I did another one where I did captive rings. I wanted to play with captive rings. So this one I did captive rings, smaller to bigger. The top is cherry. The base is ash. And yeah, so those are the baby rattles for grandma and the mum-to-be. But I also had an offcut, and since nothing's open and we can't go, well, here we're on a stay-at-home order. So nothing's open and we can't go out and get gifts. So I made her a little sort of heart-shaped box with a heart-shaped finial. I had a couple pieces of wood lying around that I laminated together. So it's cherry and walnut.
Look at that.
That is gorgeous.
Cherry and walnut.
Told y'all he was a new Turner. Look at the
The top here is, well, cherry and walnut. It's book matched across the top. The finial is a heart, which was turned on the lathe into the shape of the heart and then sanded on both of the face grain sides to make it roughly flat. And then I just carved it a little to round over those edges. And then a little, so I'm thinking this might be for baby teeth, or she can keep a ring or something inside it. Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Congratulations. That's so exciting, a baby.
Congratulations.
I'm so excited
Said
for you.
You don't know the gender yet, but from your wood turning club, we're going to help you with probably some like middle names. So like lathe or spindle or
or Doug.
I think those would be great names.
Or you can go Western and call him Dusty.
Or we can call him Kitty. What do you think about Kitty?
Call him Turner.
Thing, right?
Little tailstock.
Just the tailstock. Call him Turner.
All right.
Do.
Or Chucky.
Meow.
Chucky, I like that.
Middle name T.
Bulger.
Chucky Turner. Chucky Turner Bulger.
Chucky Turner Bulger.
I like Banjo. Banjo Bulger.
Banjo Bulger. Nice.
How perfect is that?
Banjo.
Yeah.
Eddie?
Thanks,
Yes.
everybody.
I still think Chucky would be good.
Ronnie, I think we found the bottom and we went under it. Right?
Eddie?
Yes, sir.
We only have a few minutes left, and we said that this was a night for people to come forth and introduce themselves. I'm going to put 3 initials on it. It's B as in boy, T for Tom, I is in ice. Break the ice. Come forth, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't think we've ever heard from Sandy. What is it, Sandy?
I was just gonna say that was a new face right there.
Yeah.
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 My
Come
name-
back up, Sandy.
That's me. Back up. Is that better?
There you are.
That's
Okay.
perfect.
Sandy,
Hello.
Wood?
Where are you from?
My name is Sandy Swayze, Dirty Dancing. And let me see, I live in Washington, Silverdale, Washington, 6 months out of the year. And 6 months I live in Sun City, Arizona. So we have 2 places. I'm a snowbird. I've been turning about, probably close to 10 years, I guess. Started in Arizona, turning at our club in the resort where we live, had never even walked up to a lathe before. And day one, I fell in love and been at the lathe ever since. So started as a segmenter. I don't know if you can see it. This was my latest.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Oh, wow.
And
Great.
then I've moved on to, oh, and I have to say, I've been following Kim on YouTube for a long time. So I'm a subscriber. So here's my tribute to her.
Thank you, Sandy. Oh, wow.
I'll try and get back far. I have, I poured some resin over some pine cones, first ever bottle stopper.
Wow. I still haven't made a bottle stopper. That's amazing.
Well, me either. So I thought, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Living in the Northwest, we get a lot of madrone here. I don't know if you're familiar with that wood. I know there are people there that live in this area as well. Let me see if I can reach one on my table. I'm actually in my sewing room, but I have a pile of stuff here. Here's a small piece of madrone.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous wood.
Yeah, it's fun to turn.
Yeah, and it is fun to turn. It's easy to turn. What else? Let me think. I just joined a month ago or 2 months ago, I guess I joined the Arizona Club. We have been talking about it for a while. There, some of us members in the little park where we live. So I'm enjoying the Zoom and looking forward to hopefully getting back to actually going to meetings. I belong to a club here locally, the Olympic Peninsula Club, and hope to get to the Arizona Club.
What kind of lathe do you have, Sandy?
I actually just got a new lathe that's only about 2 weeks old. I've gone through 3. Not, yeah,
Sound like me.
Not knowing what you're gonna do. When I was turning in Arizona, and then I had to go east to visit a sister, and my husband bought a shopsmith for me. So I turned on that for probably a year. And then I bought a mini jet. I thought, oh, I'll buy just this little jet. That's going to work. Well, and it did. It does if you do little stuff. But if you do stuff like I do, it didn't work. So then I went on to a Delta mid-size lathe. And then 2 weeks ago, I had a Powermatic delivered. So I figure at my age, I just got to go for the gusto.
Which Powermatic?
I have to get a bench top because of my height. I'm not a very tall person, and I'm like Kim, I have those spindly arm stuff, and I can't reach the regular size lathe. So I bought the 2014, which is a bench top, but it's a powerful little devil.
It sure is.
So it is very beefy, and so far, 2 weeks into it, I'm very happy, and I promised my husband this would be the last one I bought. So I mean, for a lathe, I buy tools every day, but you know.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that I don't know if many of you have heard from D-Way about D-Way tools, but a personal friend of mine who lives very, very close, who belongs to our club. So I'm very partial to their tools, which I own many of, but lots of tools. So if you go to a symposium or something like that, you'll probably see me there, because I get to go along and just be in the booth talking about his tools. But I'm
a fan of his tools too, so I hear you.
That's awesome. I have the opposite problem though, Sandy. I'm 6 foot tall, so I have to actually put my lathe on blocks on extra to raise it up.
Yeah. And I'm 5'4", Kim, and I have gone, I went to the Robust because everybody said Robust is going to fit you. But it was about 1 inch too tall. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you stand there all day, you know, when you get out there, and all of a sudden I can't move my neck, and I'm going, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah, when you're hunching over, it doesn't work very well either.
I know several people who are short who turn on big lathes, and basically what they do is they build themselves a little platform to raise themselves up and turn there.
Yeah, they did that for me in Arizona, where I turn at the resort, where we live down there. And the thing is, you get in the groove, and this is what happened to me. We get in the groove, I do anyway, and I'm in the moment. And then the tool dulls a little bit, and I turn around, and the the sharpening station is right behind me. And so I just turned around and walked to it. And I came off that platform, and thank goodness it was there, but it wasn't running, because I would have hit the floor, the cement floor. And they said, we got to build you a bigger platform. And finally what they did was they bought some 1221 jets, which were smaller, because I'm not the only short person in the world. And so they even cut the legs off of those. So there's about 4 of us that run in there and try and get to that shorter lathe. But here at home, I'm fortunate, you know, we built a nice stand and cabinet, and it fits me, and it's weighted in the bottom.
Coming back to Arizona.
Well, this is the first year in 15 years I haven't been there. But because of this COVID stuff and our age, you know, we just felt like we needed to stay at home, where if we do get the COVID, we're very careful. But if we do, at least our daughter is close by.
Okay.
That can drop food off at the door and make sure we're still breathing.
Well, I just threw my phone number in the chat. And so you can grab that. Arizona John, you can grab that. And when you're here, I mean, if you need anything, by all means, you give us a call, and we'll come help you out however we can.
Yeah, but I do love turning mesquite. I turned it in Arizona. It's great wood. It has a tendency to crack for me, so I have to be a little careful with it, but that's okay. It's just design opportunities for filling. But
that's the way to look at it. It's wood.
It's wood, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Welcome, and thank you for sharing us with us tonight. It's a little bit after the hour. We normally wrap it up for 9 o'clock, but then we don't really have anything we do normally. So with that, folks, it's getting late in the evening. We have some folks from other parts of the world. Yes, we are international. And we need to call in a night. So right now, 3, 2, 1, let's all say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you,
Sandy.
Nice meeting you, Sandy.
You too. Bye, guys.
Good night, Kim.
Bye.
Welcome to the group, Sandy.
Yes.
I
Don't
just
forget
want
to save the chat.
Good night, everyone. Good trip there, Kim.
What's that,
I burned up.